Boys, welcome back to the show for men. I'm your host, G-Man. Today we have a video called The Average Male Fantasy by Shubon Head. This one has blown up. It has 1.4 million views. If you want to watch it without me carrying on, as always, it's in the video description. Let's go.
What do they want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy? Is it fame? Fortune? 3 hot chicks at once? Hell yeah, brother. No, according to men on the internet, it's something a little more simple.
I want to talk about that because women always think that all men want is action, and it is, look, somewhat a stereotype, and especially for young guys, yeah, that's all you sort of care about. I want to tell you the downside of having 3 chicks at once, or, you know, when guys say, oh, I've got 3 girlfriends on the go, like it's this bloody awesome thing. That's 3 chicks you've got to get rid of, mate. Once you do the deed, once you've gotten what you want to get out of it, you've got to get rid of them. 3 times that. Every time a bloke has ever said to me, oh, yeah, I've got 2, 3, 4 girlfriends, like actual girlfriends, I'm like, you're an effing idiot. That is not a good thing.
This is literally just a fetish. I fucking hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, man.
As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw this post. A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who is assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually they fall in love. Many men were yearn posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this, while many others...
Alright, so this is the fantasy, right? I want to talk about fantasy. That is fantasy. Most guys don't get that, okay? So what these guys see on this show, this hentai, whatever the hell they're watching, you know, jacking off to it. That isn't what you get, dudes. Guys think they're going to get that when they get a girlfriend. Like, yeah, some guys might have that experience, but the majority don't. That's why it's called a fantasy. No idea. No idea. And I think a lot of guys out there who haven't had much experience with women, and this isn't a bar, but this isn't a jab, this is just realism. If you haven't had that much experience with women, you think that they are sugar and spice and all things nice. And the solution to all your problems, you know, what will make your life better will be having that girlfriend. Yeah, newsflash, man, it's not. You're going to find out quick smart what women are like.
Mostly women, were absolutely f***ing disgusted at this. Why would a bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and predatory, right? Also just...
I'm going to say a lot of guys... I wouldn't even say it's fetishes. I think guys will just take whatever they want. You guys will take your amputees, Down syndromes, retarded chicks, smelly chicks, massive fatties, anorexic girls, 1 out of 10s, transgenders. You'll take whatever you can get, a lot of you guys. So I think a paraplegic girl in a wheelchair or a quadriplegic or whatever is pretty lowbrow, really, on that list.
Just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about why so many men resonated to that clip and this movie, and why so many people are so confused as to why. We are also...
I want you guys... The reason why I say that, guys, because a lot of you guys, you don't fucking help me out here, right? You don't help me out here say, nah, guys aren't dirty little Steve-O's and Bryce's. I saw a video a little while ago, and there was a fake OnlyCans account. It was AI-generated Down syndrome chick, like Chinese Down syndrome chick who was... she had a Down syndrome face, but she had, like, the voluptuous body. She had 20,000 members or something. You guys, you're not helping me. All right?
Also going to be reading some absolutely unhinged tweets. As usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never-ending gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women? Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean-shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Let's quickly get into today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
That was smooth. All right, let's move. All right. Let's get off the shave.
Oh no. They think, oh god, why? Always vulnerable, always happy, always needs you. Pretty perverted. Where are these fan fictions coming from? There were like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy, together? I know, unheard of. Why did they see that and then immediately come to these conclusions? Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy. And she's absolutely not portrayed as some, like, vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu. She's boisterous, she kind of has a foul mouth, she's very sassy and headstrong, she like straight up calls him her servant, but she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house, she was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But they actually show her disability, like, not in a good way. Like, they don't romanticize it, they don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies, unlike a lot of romance movies, at least like the Hallmark kind, where it's like the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky, cute female lead, he's already got his shit together. And she learns to live life from him. He encourages her to live her dreams. And in return, he learns to live life in a completely different way.
Blah, 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 blah. Basically, women don't like it when other men are happy and have a wholesome outlook on something. So they're going to say that guys who say that they like that relationship, you know, where the woman was dependent on the guy, and that's predatory. Men who like younger women and can get younger women, they're Joseph Fritzl, they're Jeffrey Epstein. All right, you've gone to Epstein Island on the Learjet. you and all the crew. You're manipulative if you get younger women, because apparently younger women, they're easy to be molded and shaped. So we heard all the shaming tactics out there. I don't quite understand, though, the backlash here. It must be some sort of liberal, lefty, woke, feminist type women carrying on saying if a woman's dependent on a man, then that's toxic. I don't know. I don't get it. The world is backwards, guys. The world is definitely backwards. I can tell you that much. Well, let's skip ahead. I don't know. I don't want to listen to her bambling around. All right.
The average male fantasy, their mind immediately goes to the darkest, worst faith interpretation of this. The problem is these people can't see any humanity in men. They can't see any humanity in humanity in general. Average male fantasy equals girlfriend with no agency who's completely physically dependent on you and forced into blanket subservience and compliance. Sounds about right. You males are weird for fetishizing physically disabled
Yeah, I was
women.
right.
Average male fantasy is having a physically disabled girl that they can abuse however they want. Got it. Want to be that guy? I'm gonna be that guy. The infantilization of the physically disabled here is a little, dare I say, ableist? The implication here that people in wheelchairs cannot find love, and if they do, the person who loves them literally just loves them because they can't run away. Weird. Average men can't even be nice to their healthy and normal girlfriend. What makes you think they'll be able to handle a disabled person as their lover?
That's really interesting, because you get a lot of women who are really bitter and jaded on men. And for me, when you see women say things like this, you can tell that they've had an experience where, yeah, they've dealt with a Chad or a Brycey or a Steve-O who didn't really have much value in her, all right? So she got absolutely used up, discarded, maybe strung along, played, all that sort of thing. And then they use that experience to say that all men don't like women, that men use and use up women. Whereas the true reality of the matter is, you probably got 80% of guys, if not more, I reckon 95% of guys don't do that sort of stuff, who would actually want a girlfriend and treat her well. I always find it to be really backwards, and I can't truly understand how women get to that point. I can understand why men actually get to that point where they're in red pill rage. They're in there. I think people do have a spurt, where you're just not liking women at all because you've sort of had some bad experiences and you've been hurt, or you've had them do horrible things, treacherous things to you. I don't see how women really get much treachery done to them, maybe apart from men cheating on them. Like, guys lose their lives and livelihoods and money and through the family court and kids and houses and pensions and all this shit. So I can understand how guys get there. But I can't understand how women get there. It's bizarre.
Whoa. Normal? What do you mean by normal? These people are just so ableist, chat. Can you believe it? Chat? Chat? I don't even live stream. Who's chat? I'm disabled, blind, so I showed this to my boyfriend. He says, I love you because you're you, and you make my days happier. So what if I have to drive you places or help you with cooking and cleaning? I would have done that anyway. Disability has nothing to do with it. I love you. Ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but, your boyfriend is a rapist. Sorry you had to find out this way. You show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. No, the fantasy is the woman appreciates his efforts to make her happy. Stop
That's why it's the fantasy, right? As I was saying, you get these guys out there who've never really had it. They're watching all this hentai shit, or they're watching movies, and they think they're going to get this perfect experience. So the woman really appreciates him, loves him, adores him, if he does all the right things as specified by society. As I said, some guys get that experience. I'm not going to say most guys don't. I'm not going to say most guys do. I'm going to say most guys don't. You might get it at the start through bait and switch type behaviour, but generally you're going to end up living a life of quite desperation, wondering how you fell for such propaganda. That's why it's a fantasy, right? That you're always going to be appreciated, treated well, probably loved as you want to be loved as a man, which we know is impossible for the majority of women out there. Unconditionally, or you also get support. Most women cut and run on dudes when times get tough. So I think that's the fantasy we're talking about here. Women just being nice. Nice, especially when there's nothing in it for him, right? When the guy's chips are down, right? When things aren't going well in his life. We know, guys, majority, I'm not going to say all, because there are some ride or dies out there, but I'm going to say majority of women are gone. Like, they're gone when things aren't going great.
Lying and abusing women and the disabled. Your meds, schizo. You don't even know that f***ing guy. What do you mean stop abusing women and the disabled? Bitch, who are you? Also, the majority of men participate in abuse of disabled people. Are you okay? The majority of men are not abusers. That is a very, very small minority of men. The majority of men are men that just wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, take a shower, go to...
Blah, blah, blah. Can we get to the next bit here? She's on our side, boys. She's on our side.
Male fantasy is that a woman who isn't fat. The average male fantasy is actually job security. You know what? These guys may have a point here. Pedophile alert. Men want disabled child wives. Average male fantasy is a disabled child. More proof that men are pedophiles. That's a little girl. This is weird. So, first of all, she's literally older than the guy. The guy...
You know why it is? Because men are saying they want something wholesome. And these women know they're not wholesome, so they go to the shaming tactics. Just as I was talking about when I've had this said to me, right? Like a few of my mates are married. And when I was going through my extreme Monster Hunter phase, obviously they didn't want their husbands hanging out with me. I even had had a couple of them bail me up at a barbecue. I was actually cooking the barbecue, and I'm like, aren't you happy? You know, you're out there going with all these young girls. Like, clearly there's something wrong with you, and aren't you lonely? Don't you want a woman your own age? Why are you doing this? And da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, because they're fun. They're fun. It wasn't like they were 18. They're about 10 years younger than me at the time. So maybe 25, 24. Women hate that shit. Women hate it when guys are getting something that these women know they cannot provide. And that's when you get all this stuff like, they're going in full weirdo insults about a guy being a predator for women in wheelchairs who can't defend themselves. Like, women say the most horrible shit.
He is 22 and she is 24. In anime years, he is practically hag-maxing. And yes, she may be physically disabled, but aren't all men mentally disabled in their own special way? At least the ones in my audience. They will freely admit this. Maybe she, the older one...
What are you talking about, mate? Mentally disabled. I said, this chick, like 1.4 million views because she's like, yeah, go, man. I don't really watch. I've seen her pop up on my feed. I'm probably not really into her format of content, but I thought I'd watch this one because it had so many views on it.
Woman is taking advantage of this sensitive young man. Have you ever thought of that? She looks like an 11-year-old child. Where are her breasts? First of all, really weird way to say that. She looks like a child. Show me her titties. Also, I love how, like, when anime women have huge boobs, it's disgusting, Coomer brain or whatever. But if the anime woman has small boobs, she is a child and you're a chimo. Can't fucking win. Also, if she had big boobs, they'd absolutely be like, wow, look at this sexualization of the disabled. Also, you know, like, adult women can be flat-chested, right? Like, that actually exists in real life. Like, adult human women can have small boobs. We love all titties here on the Shoe on Head channel. All titties is good titties. End of story. Women fantasy. A boyfriend with depth and the loving, soft, deeply caring side of them. Men's fantasy. 12-year-old anime girl who looks and speaks like a toddler. Also notice how she's literally the shape...
Let's move it along. Fuck, I just keep saying the same fucking shit here. It goes to show you, man, women are bloody...
bumped by the authors themselves, who admitted they did
jaded.
the math wrong. It's actually not much higher, but then again, even if it was, and it happens, I've seen it happen to people, it's terrible. Marriage should be through sickness and through health. But that's not really the point here. And the fact that so many people are focusing on the wheelchair part of this just proves that they just don't get it. The ones of pure mind and pure soul get it. But these fucking semen demons out here, they don't get it. But not all semen demons. The amount of people in comments who just don't get that men want a cute, loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money.
Exactly right, so that's what I was getting to. I want to talk about what the fantasy is for guys. Here comes a rant, guys, okay? I'm going to go back to younger, plugged-in G-Man. When I say fantasy, I say it's a fantasy because I just thought that is what everyone got, but now I know it, for the most part, is a fantasy. What did younger Steve-O G-Man look for in a girl? All right, she had to be somewhat attractive. Now, I've always spoken to you guys, right? I always tell you not to go for the too hot chicks because they make your life too hard. They cost you a lot of money and they're community property. They've always got guys coming after them. And so they're very much high flight risks when it comes to, you know, jumping onto the next dude and leaving you hanging. So just average looking, which isn't bad. It's average, like cute, girl next door type thing. That's sort of my vibe. That's what I like. But in terms of personality traits, if I honestly look back and reflect on it, just someone who would appreciate the effort that you go to as a guy to take them out and want to treat them nicely and want to do things with them. You know, it just, even if it's pretty simple stuff, like you go and take them for a movie. Like now that's very expensive. Back then it wasn't that expensive. You go out for a movie, take them out for a bite to eat, get a lunch, get coffee. You know, you're making this effort. You're driving around everywhere. You might not live close to her, so you might be in the car for half an hour each way. Just someone who appreciates that effort that you're going to. Someone who's not going to have lifestyle creep or relationship creep in terms of what they want, right? Because that's what I was hoping for. Someone who was just down to earth. That isn't what you get. Every single time I've had a woman and I've done all those really nice things. That's why I don't do this shit anymore, really. Like if I'm saying someone nice or whatever, I will do nice things for them. I'm not a complete asshole, right? But it's very, very few and far between. Very few and far between, guys. Every time I've gone and done all the things that society tells us you should do, the expectations go up. You make a rod for your own back. So any of you young guys watching me, don't go spoiling these young girls, these young women, or women if you're not even that young. Buying them shit, taking them out to restaurants, even on the first date. Like most women want that now. When you go and pay, you haven't even met them. You haven't spoken to them on the phone. They don't even want to speak to you on the phone, and they want you to go and fund a dinner that could be completely awkward. Probably run you $150. But it's just insane. I want to tell you why. Because if you lead with money and lead with experiences, they're always going to want more. So think about if you've ever... I'll look back, when you used to do the anniversary presents and you buy a nice maybe necklace or bracelet with a love heart on it. You might have been Mr. Romantic and gotten it engraved with your initials or some bullshit on there. Next year, it's got to be double that. It's got to be more. You can't do the same thing again because otherwise they get disappointed. It's like exponential growth in what you need to provide. And at some point, you can't do anymore. So guys keep trying to up it and up it and up it, all right? Even the holidays. Think about when you've gone on holidays and then it's you might have gone to somewhere domestically, gone interstate somewhere, bed and breakfast. Now you got to go to Thailand, and then you got to go to Bali, and then you got to go to Fiji, and then you got to keep going up and up and up. Then you got to go to Europe. Then you go to America for 4 weeks and spending 30 grand. Shit like that. Like, it doesn't stop. So the fantasy is that you get with a woman who is down to earth, doesn't expect too much from you, has sex with you, isn't fat, isn't a bitch, and just be a nice person on a consistent level for a long period of time. I don't think that's asking too much. But obviously I'd be called Jeffrey Epstein if these women who are writing these comments that heard my channel. I'd be called Joseph Fritzl. Put in the comments, guys, what is your fantasy in quotes? Because it is a fantasy. I've made hundreds of these videos talking about my experiences. I very rarely come across a woman who I would see to have traits that I would actually look to want to actually lock in. Especially now that your eyes are open. They're just not out there. And if they are, they're probably married. Some other guys locked them down. So that is the fantasy, guys. Why? It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Tell me what yours is. Put in the comments. Are you on board with me, or do you think it's more than that? Do you want a fucking Victoria's Secrets model? I couldn't think of anything worse. But is that what you want? I don't know. I just wanted, when I was younger, I just wanted that.
Thank you. A sane person. Hopefully the replies aren't full of people calling her a pick-me. Pick-me alert. Least obvious pick-me. Me, pick me please. Hope he picks you, sis. Pick me, pick me, pick me. An incel could have written this. Fuck. Why are so many VTubers either pick-me's or racist? You mean why do so many female VTubers disagree with you? Why so many aren't towing the mainstream liberal feminist...
I'll tell you why, because there's big money in it for them. That's why they'll never understand. Like I said, she's making, this is a good, well put together video. She's making some good points. But that's the thing, guys really gravitate towards women talking about these things. I find it bizarre. Like, you should go to more male channels for dudes talking about male issues that they've experienced and can actually articulate very well and understand and resonate with their audience. I don't know how a chick can. But that's why they do it. Because it is the perfect formula. A lot of confused guys out there, and they think that if women are saying things, that women know it better than the men that are experiencing it themselves. Bizarre clown world. That's why.
NPC line, because they can. See, the most powerful weapon women have against other women is social ostracization. You don't want to be seen as a pick-me or a racist, so you keep your mouth shut in order to survive in female social circles. But in the cases of VTubers, virtual YouTubers, they're basically anonymous. They can say anything they want. They're basically wearing a mask. They're free from the chains of the eternal HR Longhouse. But apparently, even being anonymous online does not save them, because they still get doxxed for simply not hating men. Lovely. Maybe I should save this rant for a different video someday. Moving on. Men are why we can't have nice things, by the way. First of all, men make all the things. Thank you. Thank you. Also, I just realized it was a man saying that. It was a whole ass man saying men are why we can't have nice things.
I think it's really interesting where we are in this world, right? Where there's all this a woman versus man bullshit going on. Like, I've never made any content like that. I make commentary about the male experience, but this whole, oh, men do everything, or no, women do everything, I find it really insufferable. I think the fantasy is that this fucking bullshit didn't exist. I think it's only going to get worse, because you got guys now who are waking up a little bit because of all the bullshit on the internet with women. So they're putting they're digging their heels in, right? They're saying, nah, I'm not getting with slurries. I'm not going to support the marriage industry. I'm not going to ruin my life. And you got these chicks out there doubling down on their shitty behaviour. So there's like a battle line drawn there. I'm glad I'm not really a part of it. I come in and out of it. I just think it's an interesting place in society where we're at. Let's skip around a little bit.
As being the average male fantasy. It's fine to love the disabled, I didn't need to remind you that, but to glorify it? This anime is certainly Marxist propaganda. The movie is about him taking a job as her caretaker, and when he learns of her dreams, he makes it his mission to help her dreams come true. So it is Marxist propaganda to help a disabled person pursue their dreams? Yeah, it's woven in. Empathy is the target of propaganda.
I think people are just retarded these days, especially women, some of the shit they fucking say. That's the hamstering and just rubbish that you see read. I want to talk to you about how to see the true nature of a lot of women. I've actually done this. Go into the Are We Dating the Same Guy group. I've actually downloaded Facebook. I go into it and I scroll through that. Go and watch the comments that they make. Go and watch that. Go and read it. Guys, if you can get into it, I somehow am in it. All right? It is a true eye-opener about how they carry on. And I'm not saying it's all women carry on like that, but they're worse than dudes in there. They're worse than Brycey and Steve-O having banter about slurries off the dating apps. I'm telling you what. Worse than anything I'll say on this channel. Worse than anything you guys will say in the comments. Just go and have a look at it. All right, women complain that men objectify them and they're nasty about them and they pull them apart physically. Any picture that's put up of a dude, it is just chicks ragging him out. He's fat, he's short. Why would anyone be dating him? Bah, 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 bah. Like really nasty shit. Thousands of comments. It's really interesting. I saw a post on Are We Dating the Same Guy? I know I'm going a little bit off piece here, but I think we got what we wanted out of this fantasy bullshit. Okay. They had this post on there about body count. Oh, she said, I'm 21 years old. What's the sort of the body count that I should be saying that I have? Like, i.e., how much should I bullshit the dude? And you had all these older looking slurries in there and, probably plenty of fish stay-at-home mum slurries, as I call them. Just telling her to lie about it. Or to say your number's 5 and it stays 5 for life. And they're all just giving her tips on just how to get around the question. It is great because I said just lie because he'll never know. So what's the fantasy? I'll finish it off with another mini rant. The fantasy, this is why it's fantasy, it doesn't fucking exist. Guy getting a woman who hasn't had much experience with other men in comparison to, say, her age, who hasn't slept with double digits of men, who isn't actively on dating apps, running around on the carousel, so to speak, if you want to call it that. Someone who actually offers some value back to the man. I'm not even going to talk about the physical, like not being fat and reflecting in how you market yourself out in the world, like with your photos and your biography and all that sort of shit. I'll literally just be a nice person and not write guys off within 5 seconds of matching them or looking at their profile. I think that's the fantasy for guys. Guys want to feel like they're going to be appreciated and be on some sort of equal footing. And look, that doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't happen. The opposite of that happens, and that's how we end up with the women that are carrying on in this video calling the bottom of the barrel guys that they get with, but now every guy is that. grapists and narcissists. Every single guy's a narcissist, not diagnosed by a mental health professional, by the way, just by them. All right, that's enough shit talking for me, guys. If you've enjoyed this one, once again, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Check out the Patreon. Patreon's in the video description. That has about 350 or more of my original back catalogue, but these are on YouTube anymore. The uncensored stuff. And if you have any video suggestions, send them through to gmanspeakstv@gmail.com. Helps me out. Thank you all.